In a bustling city, surrounded by towering skyscrapers and the ceaseless hum of life, there was a small rooftop garden cared for by an old Zen teacher named Hikari. The garden was an oasis amidst the chaos, filled with vibrant plants, a serene, koi pond, and a single maple tree whose leaves turned brilliant shades of gold and crimson each autumn. It was under this tree that many sought Hikari's guidance, hoping to find clarity amid life's complexities. Among them was a young professional named Aiko, a woman burdened by the weight of ambition and a fear of failure. One crisp afternoon, Aiko sat beneath the maple tree, its leaves fluttering gently to the ground. She sighed heavily, her thoughts racing. "Why does it feel like no matter how hard I try, I'm always behind?" she asked Hikari. The old teacher smiled and picked up a fallen leaf, turning it over in his hands. "Perhaps the answer lies not in trying harder, but in learning to let go." Aiko frowned, uncertain what he meant. Little did she know this moment marked the beginning of her journey to understanding. Aiko had always been driven. From excelling in school to climbing the corporate ladder, her life was a constant push for more success, more recognition, more security. Yet, despite her achievements, she felt an emptiness gnawing at her. She clung tightly to her goals, relationships, and even past mistakes, fearing that letting go of any of them would mean losing herself. Aiko began visiting Hikari regularly. They rarely spoke of her job or her worries directly. Instead, Hikari shared simple tasks with her, tending the garden, feeding the koi, or sweeping leaves. Each task seemed mundane, yet Aiko found herself drawn to the peace it brought. One day, as she raked the fallen leaves, Hikari approached her and said, "You're holding on to too many things, Aiko. Just as this garden thrives when we clear the old leaves, your mind needs space to grow." Aiko hesitated. "But what if I lose something important in the process?" she asked. Hikari chuckled. "Not everything we hold on to is meant to stay. Some things are like these leaves. They have served their purpose and must fall away to nourish what comes next." One day, as the autumn winds grew colder, Hikari invited Aiko to a special exercise. He handed her a notebook and asked her to write down everything she felt she was holding on to: fears, regrets, goals, and grudges. She filled page after page, her pen moving faster as emotions poured out. When she was done, Hikari led her to the maple tree, where a small fire crackled in a metal basin. "Now," he said, "think deeply and choose one thing to release." Aiko stared at the pages, her chest tightening. Finally, she tore out a sheet that held a deeply personal regret. Words she had spoken in anger to a loved one, words that had fractured their relationship. With trembling hands, she placed the paper into the fire and watched as it curled and burned, the ashes rising into the sky. Tears streamed down her face, but along with the sorrow came an unexpected sense of relief. "I didn't realize how heavy that was," she whispered. Hikari nodded. "Letting go is not about forgetting or erasing. It's about making peace with what was and creating space for what can be." Aiko began to practice letting go in small but meaningful ways. She decluttered her apartment, donated clothes she no longer wore, and deleted old emails that no longer served her. But more importantly, she started to release her need for constant control. At work, she trusted her team more, delegating tasks she once felt only she could handle. In her personal life, she reached out to the loved one she had hurt, acknowledging her mistake and seeking reconciliation. Each act of release brought her a little more peace, like clearing debris from a flowing river. She began to notice the beauty in the present moment. The warmth of the sun on her face, the laughter of colleagues, the way the maple leaves danced in the wind. During autumn, when the leaves fell once again, Aiko would gather her mentees and friends for a ritual under the tree. Each person would write down something they wish to release and let the wind carry it away. Life is not about holding on, she would say. It's about flowing with the seasons, embracing the changes, and trusting that every ending makes room for a new beginning. The beauty of the falling leaf is in its surrender to the wind, a graceful acknowledgement of the cycles of life. By letting go, we free ourselves to grow, to heal, and to embrace the present moment. Like the leaves that nourish the earth as they fall, our act of release creates fertile ground for new beginnings. The art of letting go is not an ending. It is a path to endless transformation. Just like Master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. And also, drawing from the wisdom of Buddha's words, you only lose what you cling to. The falling leaf is a gentle yet profound teacher, reminding us that life is a cycle of holding on and letting go. By releasing what no longer serves us, whether it's pain, fear, or outdated beliefs, we create space for growth, healing, and new possibilities. Letting go is not an act of weakness, but of courage, a way to honor the past while embracing the present. Like the maple tree that sheds its leaves to prepare for winter and the promise of spring, we too can find freedom in surrender. In the art of letting go, we discover the boundless potential of what it means to truly live.